This is video number 37, and this is for violin and viola players only. In this video, we're going to learn how to play number 44 and number 45 in your Essential Elements book. So open up to page 15. Now, these two songs are a little bit trickier than some of the other ones that we've done. We keep building, we get more complicated songs. So yes, you're going to take a little bit more practice. But as long as we're really good at reading our notes and we're able to recognize patterns in our music, and you've been practicing on a regular basis, you're going to progress very nicely into this next level of music. So the first thing, if you have not done the clap and say with 44 and 45 multiple times, you need to do that, okay? Because remember, when you actually play, you don't just have to identify the note. Your brain also has to say, okay, how do I play that note? And it has to have the time to send the signal to your fingers to actually make that change on your fingerboard. So a lot going on. You've got to be super duper fast. Okay, so if you have not done the clap and say, please pause the video, go back and do that. Notice the places that you struggle a little, practice those places. Now, I just happen to know a couple of things about this. I want you just to do the first two measures. Each line has its own problems, its own difficulties. So I want you to do the first two measures. This is the easiest part, I feel like. D, D, C sharp, C sharp, D, D, then straight to open A. The only thing tricky about that, make sure you go from high D to open A really easily. Play that, echo me. D, D, C sharp, high D, open A, and go. High D, C sharp, high D, open A. Now, that should have been easy for you. If it wasn't, pause, get it right, because I gotta tell you, that's the easiest part of the song. Now look at the next two measures. These are not really that difficult. It's just that it's like the beginning, but it switches it up on you. So it goes high D, C sharp, high D, skip to B, skip to A. Okay, do the last measure of the first line. D, B, A. Play that with me, not after me, with me. High D down. Last measure of the first line. Ready, and go. High D, B, A, again, go. High D, B, A, again, go. High D, B, A. Now play measure 3 and 4. And ready, and go. High D, C sharp, high D, B, A. Okay? Let's try that whole first line, the whole first line. 1, 2, first line, and go. High D, C sharp, high D, A. Back to high D, C sharp, high D. Now B, okay? If you haven't gotten that yet, pause the video and get that whole line. I would guess that if you're messing up, it's in measure 4. So practice measure 3 and 4 together, because I bet you can do 4 by itself. Now let's look at the second line. This has its own different kind of way to approach this. You should notice that there is a pattern right here, okay? Look at the notes. Look at measure 1. The first 2 notes and the last note are all G's. Look at the second measure. The first 2 notes and the last note are all F sharps. Look at the third measure. The first 2 notes and the last notes are all E's. So it's just the third note of each measure that changes. Now, within that, look at measure 1 and 2. G, G, A, G goes up 1. Okay, look at measure 2. F sharp, G, F sharp goes up 1. Now, here's where it has the pattern with a little variation. Again, it makes it more interesting because the audience hearing the song is going, oh, I know what's coming next, but then we throw something different at them. Look at measure 3. E, E, all the way up to open A, and then back to E. And last measure is easy, open D. Okay? Now, making a tunnel in measure 1 is going to be helpful. Let's play measure 1 and 2 of the second line only. These are the ones that follow the pattern exactly, just 1 note lower in the second measure. Measure 1 and 2, the second line, ready, and go. G, G, A, G, now F sharp, G, F sharp. Now, if you didn't get that, You need to pause the video right now and get that, because that's the easy part of this line. All right, now we're going to do the whole line. Okay, second line, 44, G finger down, 1, 2, make a tunnel and go G, G, A, G, F sharp, go up 1, F sharp, now E, make a tunnel all the way to open A, back to E, now open D. Okay, now what you need to do before you pause the video here in a second after I tell you what I need you to do. Practice line 1 till you get it right, till you can't mess up. Practice line 2 till you get it right and you're not going to mess up. And then come back and join me. We're going to play it with the recording. Okay, number 44.
44.
High D finger down.
Matthew's March.
1, 2, right, C, and go. D, D, C sharp, high D, A, back to high D. C sharp, high D. Here's a tricky one now, B. Here comes your pattern, tunnel. G, G, and F sharp. Tunnel again. You want to show off? Let go. Okay, so there's a very good chance you didn't play that without mistakes, and that's okay. This is another one that'll take a few days to learn, depending on how much you practice. If it's taking more than a week to learn, chances are you don't know your notes very well, okay? Or you're not practicing long enough, or you're not practicing smart, meaning I'm gonna isolate the problems, I'm gonna fix those problems, I'm gonna put it together in the song. Practicing is not just about playing through stuff. You gotta be efficient with your practice, or you won't progress as fast. Remember, we talked about in Jingle Bells, don't play measure 1 and 2 over and over again. It's just a bunch of F sharps. Don't waste your time playing the easy stuff. Analyze, figure out what's difficult about a song. Let's go on to 45. Now this one is nice. It's got a pattern in it as well. It's a 2-measure pattern though. Look, it goes D, F sharp, skips to F sharp, goes back to D, goes back to F sharp, and it goes up to F. Sorry, let me say this again. D skips to F sharp, D skips to F sharp. Now it goes back to the note it skipped, E, F sharp, G. Now it does the same thing 1 note higher. E skips, goes to G, E skips, goes to G, goes back to the F sharp, G, A. Then, in the second line, F sharp skips to A, F sharp skips to A, G, A, B. So it does the pattern 3 times. Starts on D, starts on E, starts on F sharp. Now let me tell you, the beginning of the second line is going to be the hardest one. Why is that? Because you're having to cross strings. Make a good tunnel, it won't be a problem. Last 2 measures are simple. However, right now, if you have not done the clap and say, or you haven't done it in a long time, do that right now. Okay? Play measure 1 and 2. Echo me, measure 1 and 2. And no, just play with me. Don't echo, just play with me. 1, 2, red, C, and go. D, skip to F sharp, D, skip to F sharp, now go to E. E, F sharp, G. Now E to G, E and G. Now go back to F sharp and go up a scale. Make a tunnel, F sharp and A. Now go to G. Now keep going. High D, C sharp, high D. Okay? At any place on there, if you messed up a certain pattern, one of the 2-measure patterns, practice that pattern and then try it all again. We're going to try it with the recording now. Oops. 45.
45. Christopher's tune.
D, skip to F sharp. Remember your pattern. And go. D to F sharp. D. Now, up a scale. E and G. Now F sharp. Now up a scale. F sharp and A. Make a tunnel. Now G and up a scale. Now you just gotta read your notes. It's its own thing, but it's easy. Okay, so practice them in 2-measure. Practice them in 2-measure slots, like just 2 measures at a time. Put it together. Try the whole thing. Try it with the recording. Remember, if it's too fast on both of these songs or any of the songs, go to EEI, Essential Elements Interactive. slow the tempo down, but at least you're keeping a steady tempo. Or of course, use a metronome. All right, and I will see you in the next video.